Someone was asking me the other day how well this VidPro gimbal head pans and tilts, so I thought I'd do a little quick demonstration at the start of this video. As you can see, it's very smooth. It's on one of the slowest speeds right now. Just setting up the shot here.
And welcome to the Philip Cochran channel, viewers. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment. It helps this channel grow and it helps me bring you these great videos that we all love. So just before we do the unboxing of this E-Flite Trojan 1.1 meter bind and fly basic, I wanted to show you this bag that I came across to carry airplanes around in and out of the car, in and out of the apartment. And I take a lot of planes just down to the street. I just walk down there, so I wanted something to be able to carry them that's somewhat safe. I was looking around at some things on the internet, and the first thing that came to mind was kind of like a hockey bag or something like that, that was just, you know, big to be able to carry, you know, a full size like 1.5 meter plane in it. And then I remembered that I had this bag. So this is from my speaker stands, my PA speaker stands. Here's a picture of the stands now. So not all companies have a bag with their stands, but some do. Some of them is just a very thin, cheap one, but this is a pretty nice one from this company. It's got some rubber pieces inside the handles that keep them kind of semi-rigid, and it's really thick. It's nicely padded. I think it's about 45 inches long, this bag. It's got a divider in between the two halves of it, a padded divider to keep things protected, and lots of room. So you can see there's my Aero Scout is in there right now, and there's tons of room for your radio and batteries and stuff like that. And it's got like about a ½ an inch thick padding to it. So the bag itself weighs quite a bit more than just the airplane would, which is nice because you can kind of bump the bag around a little bit and know that the airplane's nice and safe inside it. So I just wanted to pass that tip along in case other folks were looking for something to carry around airplanes with, or just, you know, loading them in and out of your car, and you don't want to bang them up and get them dinged. So kind of what I'd like to do is get everything pre-assembled and tested in the house, you know, the night before, and then I just disassemble the wings and throw it in the bag and head to the park. So just a little tip for you guys: you can pick up one of these things for probably about $45 or $50, and it's a really nice, well-made, heavy-duty bag. I don't think Ericsson, this company here, sells the bag separately, but you can find other bags online that are similar to this. So just passing along that tip to you guys. So let's jump into this unboxing. Okay, so here we go. So this is the E-Flite T-28 Trojan 1.1 meter bind and fly basic. I got a great deal on this plane when it was on sale last year. It was $199. And just the receiver alone that's inside this plane cost me about $125. So, you know, you're getting the whole plane for another $75. The normal price is I think $60 or something like that, maybe $299. And it was a great sale. So I actually bought 2 of these, but we haven't flown them yet. And I also want to get this one up in the air, get a few flights on it, and take the receiver out of this one and put it in some other planes that I have. So that's a quick look at the box. It's got some nice pictures on it. There's a little bit of info on the end, as they usually have. Another nice picture of it in flight there on the box. There's some details there. If someone wants to pause and zoom, I'm sure you can look them up pretty easily if you're interested in this plane. This is considered a trainer plane. That's why it's used by the Navy. It has been for many, many years, and it's probably one of the easiest warbird or single wing planes that you can fly. You know, next to one of the trainers or the top wing planes, right? It's a little bit budget oriented in that you know, it doesn't have a whole lot of features to it, but it does have the bind and fly, the AS3X flight stabilization, and also safe mode. And I think it comes with a spare prop in it. I'm not too sure. So let me pull it out of the box and you guys can take a look at what we get. Okay, here it is pulled out of the box. You can see how it's packaged. It's very well packaged. E-Flite usually does a very good job with this stuff. There's nothing on the bottom of this styrofoam container. So we'll just start cutting some of this tape off. Got our instructions and a spare prop. There's already a prop installed on this plane, which is unusual for one this size. Most of them you install it afterwards, but that's okay because we can take all the help that we can get. I'm going to finish cutting this thing open and we'll pull the parts out here because no one wants to really sit around and see that, I don't think. Okay, I got the foam braces here cut out. Throw them to one side. Just move some of this loose foam out of the way. Take a look at what we got. First of all, let's take a look at the wing. It's all one piece construction, as you can see. It's already got decals on it, as you can see. The foam's not the smoothest on this model, but it still looks really great. The paint job looks really great. It's got a couple of plastic pieces on it, reinforcement. Of course, we've got the servos and everything reinstalled. It's like a lot of planes that just want to smooth out some of these tape things and sometimes go over the decals on them too. So let's throw that to one side. Next up, we've got our wheels, and just while we have these out, I wanted to show you I found a little upgrade that I'm hoping to install. If I can't put them on this plane, I can put them on some others. So these are a very simple, super cheap kind of wheel. It's just a bent piece of wire and the wheel attached for it. But I found these spring-loaded ones, which has some suspension to them, and they were very cheap for the set. The set came, all three of them. Now the front wheel on this one has like a wire shape. It's not straight up and down, it kind of bends backwards as its suspension, and the front wheel's a little bit slightly bigger diameter than the two back wheels are. But these look almost exactly the same diameter as the stock wheels that come on the plane. So what I'm hoping to do is, because this is how it mounts, is I'll just find another piece of wire, it's about the same diameter as coat hanger wire, or either cut these ones and mount the top part of this into this part and give this plane a little bit of suspension, because it kind of it's one of its weak points to it. It's, you know, it's got no suspension on the landing gear, so it can hit down hard a little bit. And what else? So let's pull out the cockpit here, and a little bit of tape holding that on. It's got a really cool cockpit, nice little pilot figure inside it, a little bit of tape that goes up like that to help open it, and a little magnet down at the back there that helps hold it on. And now for our piece de resistance, the fuselage. So this, again, this is a 1.1 meter plane, and it's a big 1.1 meter plane, if that makes sense. It's a pretty fat plane, as you can see, but it's very scale to, you know, the real one. They have a new version out now, which they've added some more features to it. Of course, the price has gone up a little bit too. I think they've also widened the wingspan a little bit to 1.2 meter on it. You can see everything's installed, the servos, the speed control. I'm not going to go through the whole assembly process here because it's fairly straightforward. I mean, we bolt our wing on the bottom. The only thing I really didn't like about this thing is that instead of having screws, it's got a nice plastic receiver here for the rear elevator. And you just basically tape the rear elevator to the fuselage with instead of having some screws. So you know, I guess you could glue it too, which most of them are. As you can see, the rudder's already installed on it, and the link is there. The link is there for ready for the stabilizer as well. Let's just no, that's taped in there pretty good, so it'll take a second to cut it out. The landing gear just pops onto the, again, the prop's already installed on this. The landing gear props on. There's some guys have some more detailed assembly videos out there if you're not sure how to do it right, but they basically just go in like that and pop in this little tabs or little slots there in the bottom like that. So that's about it. There's one screw that holds the main wing on. No flaps on this version, as a lot of warbirds do have flaps, but you don't really need them. This plane is super easy to fly, and it's kind of like the #1 choice, again, if I didn't already say that, about going into a low wing design. So let me pause the video and we'll get this rear stabilizer out of here. Okay, well that's about it. It took literally just a couple minutes to assemble. There's one screw that holds the wing on. Just make sure your wires are tucked into the right hole before you screw it down. The landing gear, as I showed you, just popped on. There's a screw that holds the front wheel on, and you access that screw by going through the engine cowling here. So you need a fairly long screwdriver to get into that, right? Just something about that long. As you can see, the prop's already installed on it. And the tail, you just slide in. It only goes in one direction because you've got the horns attached to that one side, so it goes in from this side. And they use just a couple of pieces of tape here, little piece top and bottom, just to basically hold this in. I'd like to put some screws through here so I can disassemble it and reassemble it a lot quicker, because this is a little bit too wide and too delicate to keep in the bag that I showed you, so I don't want to keep it fixed. And probably want to do that on some of the other planes that I have too, so I don't have to glue the tail, the rear elevator to the plane, but get a pretty good idea of what it looks like. It's a nice size plane, as you can see. It looks beautiful. It's got really nice paint job and livery on it and stuff. It really show up in the air. There's the bottom of it there. So that's about it. So of course I'm using a Spectrum radio, so you know, I just go to the bind and fly list and download the model and press select. That's about it. You know, you put the battery in and bind it up. This one has a little kind of compartment, and it uses the back of the canopy here as a stop for the battery. So there's kind of only so big of a battery that you can put in there because of that, but I'm sure a lot of people kind of hollow that out there. So it's going to go in that little square where my finger is, and you can see that's kind of been designed to hold, you know, just a 2200 milliamp size battery. But I believe you can fly this on 3 or 4 cell, and then this part of the canopy there stops the battery from sliding back and forth, so it holds it in position, which is nice. But some people modify that too, and if you do, you know, put a strap in or some extra Velcro or something like that to hold the battery in. So we're going to do the maiden of this and fly it a couple of times, and then, like I said, I'm going to pull the receiver out of this one so I can use it in some other planes to save me buying a new receiver, because I already have a whole bunch of planes and not too many receivers. So that's about it for today's show, folks. Hope you liked it. Again, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. And love and peace from Canada. We are YouTube.